Me, Ivo, I see so many things when I just look at Yahoo News for even a minute. So many questions come up. I think it was recently, but doesn't matter, it happened. A Huffington Post reporter asked Trump during a press conference what he was going to do about all the lies he's told the public. Now we know, and Trump knows, he's not lying. He may be baiting the deep state, but he doesn't lie to us except for the fact that he's not disclosing the entire truth yet because he can't. But what he says is true, and I believe him when he says he's going to do something. This reporter accused him of lying. Now we all know the fake news is the mainstream media. Trump looked at this fellow, stopped talking, and then just ignored his question and carried on with another one. He didn't answer the guy. Ivo, if Trump censors the press, then he'd be guilty of censoring freedom of speech, because as either evil or as gullible as this reporter is, he is free to speak his mind in America. That is constitutional law. So he didn't answer the man because he knows he is free to ask this question and to believe what he wants to. What is Trump going to do about the mainstream media? Ivo, Trump is involved in a process of enlightening the people of America and the world. He is showing them that he has more integrity than the other politicians he deals with, who frankly act immaturely as they sling mud at him. He is appearing as if he is above it all. And he believes it is important for him to act with integrity, as this is what the people will see. Maybe they'll interpret his silence as cowardice. Ivo, they could. The interpretation of the person is understandably personal. So will he shut down the mainstream media? Ivo, no, the people will. How's that going to happen? Ivo, they will no longer watch the news. The ratings will drop and the deep state will understand they have no effect on the public anymore. This is what is happening now. Fewer are watching the news. I heard that there will be 10 days of darkness where the internet will go down, after which all these crooked companies will no longer be able to spread their fake news on it anymore. These companies will be taken out by Trump. Ivo, and they will be clearly the heads of these fake news companies, and the companies that monitor your activities, such as Facebook, have been under fire lately, and this will simply continue. As Zuckerberg is taken down, his company will falter. However, 10 days of darkness will not be necessary, my love. Your people have been creating much conjecture. That'll be the day I celebrate. They're still shadow banning me. The less I'm on there, the worse it is. Then there's that annoying fact checker which only confirms what we're saying is correct, not fake news. Ivo, Zuckerberg and the leaders of Google, Twitter etc. are also up for other crimes. Their companies are also being investigated, and believe me, there is more they can go down for than just producing false news to manipulate the public. As for these media, they are losing in popularity. The stocks say otherwise. They rose during the COVID pandemic because they were open for business while the small businesses were told to close. Ivo, and then think how dependent they are on the economy, my love. When the economy collapses, they will go down. There are far more things they can be arrested for than fraudulent news. Trump is in a process of enlightening the public. It is necessary that the public wake up to the lies that are being played out to manipulate them, so that in fact they can get on board with the truth and your world can go forward in truth for a change. So it's not clear whether the 10 days of darkness will happen. They're saying after these 10 days there will be no more Facebook, Twitter or Google. Will there be? Ivo, there will be. They will be resurrected. You cannot collapse your entire infrastructure all at once. It would set your people back by centuries. However, there is nothing to say that these companies cannot change their behavior patterns that heretofore were not practiced. They can be investigated, the guilty parties removed and overtaken by the light, which will begin an ethical business practice instead of the crooked anti-constitutional practices they have now. Okay. So they will clean up their act, in other words, and these CEOs and crooked business partners removed. Ivo, yes. Removing the bad elements is what we are desiring, however, to crumble your world into a completely foreign infrastructure that is unusable or unrecognizable to so many of you would be folly. It is possible to put safeguards in place to disallow dirty business practices, and this is what Kesara law is about: compliance to the law of transparent, above-board, ethical business practices. To build your cities up from scratch, to build your businesses up from scratch, is not practicable. However, to change your businesses into ethical businesses that actually serve the public instead of surveil and control it can be accomplished relatively easily. Yeah, and Trump's been passing laws on their censorship as well, I see this now. Okay, I want to recap then. People will be moving away from the fake news and embracing the real news, which is what we put out and others. Ivo, yes. The economy isn't going to entirely collapse. I think with Trump being a capitalist, he's trying to keep the doors of businesses open for business. Parts of the economy will collapse, like maybe the Monsanto/Bayer Corporation. Ivo, in the cases of businesses that do more harm than good, such as this corporation, yes. In the case of other businesses that do or can be changed to serve the people's needs, they will stay open. That is what we mean by economic collapse. Certain businesses will change or fail, but not others. Okay. Ivo, your drug companies will certainly, if they even remain open, become a shell of their former selves now that Trump has reset the prices on American drugs. This is part of the collapse. So there is not a sudden implosion of your Western world into a heap of ruins. This is part of the collapse, and it will be done as prudently as possible. It will be a global reset, not a collapse. The focus of this reset will be removal of the Illuminati and their influence on you. Ivo, your English is really good. LOL. Ivo, prudent, done with as much care for the future as possible. Yes, the correct word here, my love. I thought prudent meant to be a prude. LOL. Ivo, LOL, you are funny at times, my love. Still learning English at 60. Okay. Ivo, Trump will pull the plug and let the air out of as many of the illicit deep state businesses as possible without creating a shaky economy. We are not looking for an earthquake, we are looking to create change and to clean these businesses up and make them integral, compliant with constitutional and then Kesara law. And it may be that one after the other is readjusted, or several at one time, but we are not looking for an economic implosion. This type of collapse is required by the globalists because they wish to change your world to a different sort of economics. Instead of having the economy suit you, where you purchase what you need and like, they wish to change it to a system that has you working to mine, create, or otherwise provide them with more gold, silver and other precious metals or products they can barter with the rest of the galaxy. The role of the Earthling as a consumerist will be complete were you to enter the stage of their game. They require a complete collapse as they wish to go to microchipping and a cashless society. When they have this level of control over you, they will only provide for your minimal needs and nothing more. Only enough to keep us alive. And I was just reminded of Trump talking about going to Mars with the new space program, which I would assume would replace the extremely capitalist crooked NASA. Ivo, correct, my love. Those of you who have heard of these 10 days of darkness and the global economic collapse have unwittingly been spreading the cabal agenda. It is important for you be careful who you speak to. There are many around, especially on Facebook and other social media, who wish to have you believe in the globalist agenda as beneficial for you. The plan of the light is far less severe and intended to minimize your discomfort and maximize the discomfort of the cabal. There will be no 10 days of darkness, no internet breakdown, or at least we hope we do not have to go to those extremes. The reason Trump tried the emergency broadcasting system through your cell phones was in case the deep state pulled the plug on the internet. He was not intending to do so. He requires communication with the people. The deep state took another tack at the point Trump countered with the emergency cell phone communications and increased their censorship of what they deemed to be fake news. They have of course continued with their program of slurring Mr. Trump and his family. This has not abated. Me, weren't there Q posts to that effect, Ivo? Ivo, perhaps, but they are simply warning you of anything the cabal could be determined to put you through. The same goes for martial law. We would prefer not to have to do this. We are attempting to put forth a solution that does not resemble in any way any of the tactics that the deep state would use on you, such as martial law. We can do it, but would prefer not to. Me, there was such an emphasis on a clean sweep going through our businesses during these 10 days of darkness. Ivo, we hope we do not have to do it this way. You have already noticed some improvement with Fox News reporting favorably for Trump. Some businesses are complying with his new laws. However, the deep state is not over with and they are still very active. How the deep state reacts to these business modifications is yet to be seen. They may create the crash, and they are looking to do so because they wish you to live in squalor and poverty. We are trying to prevent this hysteria. Me, got it? Ivo, some businesses will close. Such as Monsanto/Bayer. It needs to go. There are other supplement companies and others who produce pesticides. Understand that your world is switching to herbals. As the people of your world, the purchasers are more informed, they will make better choices. The one good choice right now is to turn off the news. It always has been. The Saint Germain funds will come out to aid people in the face of deep state treachery. Do not expect 2021 to be a rosy year. You will need these funds to survive as the deep state attacks small business more and more in order to survive, and to create retribution. Me, so the 10 days of darkness? Ivo, if it does happen, it is a cabal initiative, not one of the light. Your people are pulling information out of the Bible, with the assumption that the Bible has never been rewritten by the Kabbalists. This is an incorrect assumption. It is very modified. Who would want your world to experience 10 days of darkness? The dark, of course. There is much in the Bible that is intended to make you fear. Were you to have read the original version, you would be shocked at the difference. You must consider, as well, that the Bible was created to support religion, and religion has been a cabal control program since time immemorial. Me, okay, that clarifies that too. Fact is, Q has spoken about the 10 days of darkness, but then he/she/it never specified what it meant, so it's anybody's guess. And don't think the Kabbalists aren't going to watch the posts and get their own people interpreting them as well. The other thing, Ivo, is that you're not going to get a nation of patriotic Americans to stop reading the Bible. They have their Bibles in one hand and their guns in the other, and they're not going to give either up. Ivo, we know this, my love, however I am simply making a point. Me, yeah, I see what you're telling me about Earth's future, but for now Western society is largely based on the Christian Bible. But I'm sure they find a lot of solace in the words of the Bible right now. I intuited to do gematria on the word 10. In Jewish it adds up to 10, which is a 1, and in English gematria it adds up to 9. So 1 is the start and 9 is the end. This signifies completion. So in these 10 days of darkness, they want to complete something. Ivo, yes, their dominance over you. As a matter of fact, understand that your Bible has been the book of choice for so many, and look where your society is now. It would be worthwhile to let it go as well. Unless you have the original version, written by those pure of heart, you do not have the correct information. Me, okay, another recap. The 10 days of darkness is what the cabal wants to institute. The White Hats are changing laws to arrest and to restructure crooked companies. The deep state wants to collapse the economy, the White Hats want to keep it running, change it back to beneficial for all WRT constitutional law. I think a lot of the posts I've seen are making this whole operation out to be something super special and mysterious, with strong biblical overtones, when in fact Trump is changing or enforcing the laws, arresting criminals, and leaving their companies to undergo a process of alignment with constitutional and Nesra law, which really isn't so woo-woo, It's just normal. Trump has had to take measures to counteract anything the deep state would implement to thwart him, like communication through our cell phones, because he relies on social media to contact the public and he knows they follow him. So he doesn't want to be cut off. He knows the MSM screws his messages over and lies, so he has to have more or less direct contact with us. This isn't so super mysterious, so white magical as the posts I've seen coming up on Facebook, so there again shows the influence the Kabbalists have on light workers on that program. Personally, I'd suffer 10 days of internet inactivity to have our world cleaned up when the lights snap back on, but it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen, even though these people are going to stand trial for their crimes. The White Hats are just using the good old-fashioned system that was put in place by the Founding Fathers because they believe it works. Constitutional law. Kesara law is still a step further but could be implemented simultaneously or shortly thereafter. Ivo, exactly, my love. Many people are enticed by secretive, mystical ideas and messages, and the deep state knows how to bait you. They understand many love extreme ideas and promises of chaos. They bait the light worker into spreading their messages for them. Much of what Q has said has been interpreted by people who simply use their opinions to figure it out. So there is much conjecture on the airwaves, and the deep state has taken advantage of that and added their own dark messages to the mix. Follow constitutional law and you will understand what Trump is doing. He is attempting to restore America to an ethical business system that allows for freedom of all in their country to earn money. That is step one. So it's going to be a legal process, that's it? Ivo, we hope not to have to resort to extremes in order to complete this work. Trump has done an excellent job so far and will continue to do so. We are not fond of the idea of causing inconvenience to the people, nor is Trump, because he cares about the people he believes make America great. The cabal does not. They fear and hate you. Got it, Ivo. Thank you for clarifying this. I thought a lot of what I was hearing was a bit over the top. Ivo, it was. My love, we wish this to go as smoothly as we can possibly make it. It does not bode well because the cabal can still resist us. However, we beg your indulgence and wish you to understand we are doing as much as we can considering the level of awakened ones there are. Thanks, Ivo. Ivo, of course. Ivo, now how about Canada? Ivo. Ivo, where are you going? LOL. Please note, we still ask that you consider stocking up on food and supplies as well as water, to last you through any periods of either lockdown or even martial law if this necessary, or any other reason like food shortages, etc. As things are renegotiated and new laws put into place, there is risk of lack, as well as the fact that simply the deep state still runs the businesses and they can cut off whatever supply to the people that they wish, be it gasoline, food, or even drug supplies. So please stock up and consider any eventuality possible. Hopefully this will be unnecessary but a good precaution nonetheless.